All right, so we are playing around here with homework 3.2, question number 4, part B, and we're asked to solve an equation that has fractions in it. And there's 2 ways to go about it. One way is you just leave the fractions and just work with fractions. The other way is to get rid of the fractions by multiplying by a big enough number to eliminate the denominators. So I'm going to use that second approach. So I need to find a number that 2, 4, and 6 go into. And you could either guess on that and say, oh, look, I bet 12 is a good number. And you might guess 24, that would work too. You might guess 6, that would work too. So what I'm looking for when I look at those 3 numbers there is what is the lowest common multiple of those 3 numbers? And one way to build the lowest common multiple is to factor each of these. So 2 doesn't really factor. 4 factors as 2 times 2. And let's see, 6 factors as 2 times 3. And I just realized I lied a minute ago. I said all of these will go into 6, but 4 won't. And then I can use those to build the LCM in the following way. I take the first number, and the first number needs a factor of 2. The second number not only needs a factor of 2, it needs 2 of them. The third number needs a factor of 2. I got plenty of those, don't need any more. But I do need a factor of 3. That's not up here yet. So you try to write down the least amount of factors over here to satisfy each number. So 2 is satisfied because I have more than enough 2's. 4 said it needs 2 2's. 6 needs a 2 and a 3, and I got those. And then I just multiply that out. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12 on a good day. So 12 is the smallest number that all of those go into. So then I just multiply everything by 12. So I want to take 12 times 1/2 x plus 12 times 1/4, and that's going to equal 12 times 1/6. And then this is the best part of math ever. You get to cancel stuff, right? 2 goes into 12 6 times. So that gives me a 6x there. And 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 1 gives me a 3 here. And then 6 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 1 gives me a 2 over there. And now I have a way easier equation to work with. So to solve this, I'm going to subtract the 3. So that's going to give me 6x equals -1, and then divide by 6. And so my claim here, 6 divided by 6 is 1x. X has to be -1/6. I claim that that's the answer to the original equation. Now, anytime you solve an equation, it's an educated guess. You should always check by plugging into the original equation. So my check would be to write down the original, 1/2. Instead of an x, I'm going to plug in -1/6. Copy down the rest of it. And that is supposed to, question mark, equal 1/6. Okay, cleaning this up a little bit. And you could just plug this into your calculator if you want to check it. That works. I'm just going to remind you about fractions. When you multiply 2 fractions together, you multiply numerators and denominators. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 6 is 12. Positive times a negative is a negative. And then here I need a common denominator. And you might recognize that 4 goes into 12. In which case you could just multiply top and bottom by 3 here. So then that gives me -1/12 plus 3/12. Let's see. That gives me a common denominator of 12. -1 plus 3 is 2. 2 out of 12 is the same as 1 out of 6, which matches what I have above and checks. If you didn't want to deal with that fraction stuff, you could just plug this into your calculator and see that it gives you 1/6. And Desmos does that beautifully. So let's see, I had 1/2, and then parentheses, -1/6, close parentheses. I'm hoping if I add 1/4 to that, I get 1/6. And then all I do over here is say, hey, can I have a fraction, please? And Desmos checks. Yep, it worked.